Hi, it's Naomi back with another vlog for you guys today. This time I'm going to be talking about The Invisible Guardian by Dolores Redondo. This book's a crime thriller, the first book in the Bartan trilogy. Apparently it's also been made into a movie that you can see on Netflix, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet. This book follows the main character, who is a police inspector called Amaya Salazar, and she is tasked with going back to her hometown to investigate a series of murders where young teenage girls are being killed, and the scenes and the bodies are being posed in a certain way. At the same time that she has to do that, she also has to deal with the fact that there are male members of her team in the police who perhaps think they should have been assigned the case instead of her. And so she's got to try and manage these difficult characters whilst also trying to crack the case as well. The case brings her back to her hometown, and in her hometown she's kind of got to confront her past a little bit. She's got two sisters who still live there. She's got Flora, who runs the family bakery. She's incredibly driven and motivated, but at the same time she's very combative and quite difficult to communicate with. She also has another sister, Roz, who is in a different situation. She's married to a chap that perhaps we would call him like a layabout. You know, he's not very active, and she's trying to extract herself from that unhappy marriage and that situation. So Amaya's somewhere in the middle. She has a very supportive husband, James, and she does work very hard at her job too. However, there's one theme that does actually unite all the women, which is the fact that they've all want to have children, and for various reasons they don't have children. And this is something that reoccurs during the book, this theme of motherhood and also fertility issues. And I think the author handles it incredibly well. It's a very emotive topic, but she deals with it very sensitively, and I think it's one of the successes of the novel. The author also inserts these flashbacks to the 1980s, to Amaya's childhood, and they are some of the most successful parts of the novel, in my opinion. I think she's given her main character a really strong, interesting background. Sometimes it's hard to read and it's quite shocking, but I think it's a real triumph, and it makes you want to read on and in the series and understand more about Amaya and the way she is. Another theme in the novel as well is food, which I was reading up about the author a little bit, and she went to school for gastronomy at one point. So it's not surprising that perhaps she's used food to tie things together. So there are a lot of kind of like fraught family dinners, you know, with around the roast, and there are also the small local delicacies, these little cakes that are left at the scene of the crime as well. The supernatural plays a really big part in the novel as well. There is some really great scenes in there, like there's a couple of scenes where they are reading their cards or like tarot cards, and the atmosphere is just really tense, and the scenes really work. There's also the Basa Yaun, which is a like forest dwelling folk creature, kind of humanoid in its look. So you're kind of always wondering how that pertains to the case as well. And also a lot of the bodies are found in these wooded areas, so there's a lot of reason for the police to go down there into the woods, and again the author creates a really great atmosphere by using these supernatural elements and these kind of natural surroundings. As someone who doesn't generally read or enjoy that much supernatural fiction, it really worked for me. I didn't find it too much at all. I thought, you know, it worked well in the tradition of authors like, you know, James Oswald and John Connolly, crime with a little bit of supernatural twist. So I thought that really worked for the book. One of the things the author does really well is her female relationship. She captures the way that women talk, women communicate with each other really well. It's also a great juxtaposition between Amaya being a woman in a man's world in the police force, whereas the village that she's from seems to have so many strong female role models. You know, the male characters do tend to play second fiddle to the females in this particular book. And I think that's a really interesting viewpoint to have, to read about. And also, you know, to read a book from another culture that I don't really know about. I feel like I'm learning something. And it's quite fresh in that way. The good news is that all of the books are translated into English and are available at the moment. I think the only thing that we're waiting on is the small size paperback of the third book. That's not out until May. And yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed them. I thought it was a really strong start to a crime series, quite fresh as well, very modern. I think that anyone who likes a good crime mystery will definitely engage with this. And again, it's interesting to read something from another culture, from Spain, that I don't really know too much about just yet. But yeah, I would encourage anyone to give it a try. But thank you very much for listening to me today, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.